Hello, this is Victor, and I want to make a short video to show that when you start painting, you will see some awesome miniatures, but you have to take into account that most of the people that is painting a high level never paint as like that from the first day. And this is why I want to show some examples of what I paint a lot of years ago and compared to miniatures that I'm painting recently. For example, here you see a plague bear that I paint. Well, was one of my first miniatures. You see it's very flat. Yeah, I tried to do some highlights, but I completely fail on that. Red is also flat. It's quite, compared to the last, okay, this is a bigger miniature, but this is, if you compare this to what the epidermis that I just paint recently, so you can see exactly what I mean. So everybody have to learn, have to evolve in the painting. Another example are going to be this clan rat, this how it's called this, but this is caved. So this was one of the first caving that paint. Okay, see, also you can see the evolution of the miniature from GamesWorshop. So this is maybe from, I will guess, it's 15 years ago. This is what I paint maybe 5-6 years ago, 7. I was still using the washes, the bright washes from GamesWorshop. This is paint more recently. Okay, you see also the evolution here on the painting. So it's important that, yeah, you look what other people do and you learn from them. You try to test some techniques. So also here, this was my first Chaos Lord. Okay, this was the first Chaos Lord I painted about 20 years ago. So you see, I didn't manage to do any highlight on the blacks. I tried to do a transition on the sword, but it was just dry brush and it's quite rough transition. So yeah, you see, I always try to use some techniques, right? Dry brush. I try to use some washers, but this is what I managed to do at that time of period. This is one of the latest Terminators. It's another paint scheme, but you see that then now I managed to do some freehands. So from here to here there is a lot of learning. Okay, another miniature, and this is quite interesting because it's exactly the same miniature. So this is Fleshhound I paint also when I start playing. Okay, you see the red have almost no highlight. Also I try to do here a yellow transition, just dry brush with not a lot of success. Sorry if it's not. So you see here. Okay, then this is what I paint recently. I go to darker colors because I think it's matching better. You see that the skin have much more texture. So again, from here to here there is some learning. So what I want to explain is when you see an awesome miniature, this person didn't learn from the first day to paint like that. Another example here, as here you will see also evolution from GamesWorshop. So this is the Great Demon of French that was on the shops time ago. Okay, you see here. This was my first Great Demon of French. So I also tried to play with color transitions with not a lot of success. I tried to use very bright colors. This was very 80s looking like. Okay, this is my Faith Weaver years ago, paint last year. Okay, you see I also play better with the colors. I don't go to this bloom. Another example of a big fail that I did when I started, and I keep them to remember that we all have to learn. So this is one of my first characters for Chaos. You see it's like a rainbow warrior. So not many colors in a small miniature. They don't combine very well one to each other. But I was experimenting at the time, so it's good to experiment, it's good to do fails, I don't strip the paint. I like to keep as my historical knowledge. Here, the last one I want to show is the Bloodthirster. This is the Bloodthirster I painted. Also, this was my first great demon I ever painted. So I try to do here, as you see, some transition on the eggs to red, but the flesh was quite rough painted. Okay. The black of the armor was poor executed. The wings are completely flat, no highlights at all. Okay. And this is the one I paint. I think this was painted almost 10 years ago also. You see, I start knowing how to highlight the blacks. I look here what is very bright because I was still using the old washes from GamesWorshop that was giving a very bright and finishing, so it was very glossy when you finish. I was not concerned on the wings because it looks more organic, but in some cases it was not a nice finishing. So you see my dry brush is slow. So what I want to show here is don't get demotivated because you see awesome paints and you cannot reach this level of painting. You need years, you need to practice, you need to, you see here, you need to make some mistakes. Everybody do mistakes. So look, this Terminator is one of my first Terminators. Just black and silver and some details, not highlights at all. At that moment I didn't know how to highlight Terminator armors or power armors, so it was quite difficult for me. I tried, and in each miniature, in each step, I tried to try to use different techniques, try to learn from my mistakes. You see, from very first of the beginning I tried to do the dry brush, to do some highlights. If you want to improve in your painting, you have to do mistakes, you have to destroy miniatures like this one, but it's part of the learning curve. So I encourage you to try new techniques, look in internet for new techniques and try to improve, and to, in each miniature, try to go a little bit further in your painting job. So that's all what I want to show in that video. I think it's useful for you, and also good to see that even today I painted at quite a nice level, and I think there are painters that are much better than me. I didn't paint like that from the first day. You see, the first days were not that awesome. So thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye.